point it out as we go along.
Are we waiting for audio or not, for video?
We're not live, so we can just start at 7:30.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Village of Skokie Appearance Commission for October 13th. When you were applying for your building permit, you were given instructions what we're going to be doing at this meeting. We're basically looking at the exterior appearance and how that relates to the village and the neighborhood, et cetera. If you have a case that's going to require some extensive redesign, we're not here to redesign your case. We will be sending you back out to take care of that yourself, and you'll have to resubmit for the next meeting. It's a little different than what we've done in the past, but Carrie will be putting all the information up on the screen. We'll be viewing it that way versus handing out drawings. When I call your case, I'll have you stand out at that railing there, right, or at this podium, one of the podiums.
Mic's on, so.
You can pick up.
Yep.
How about that podium? Are they both live? Okay. The podium of your choice, and we will exchange some questions and dialogue and so forth. If there were neighbors on either side of your property that were given notice of this meeting, in some cases those neighbors do show up and want to participate, and we welcome that as well. If there are any such neighbors, when I call a case, just raise your hand and say you want to say something too, and then we can have you at both ends, kind of like Judge Judy. With that said, anybody who's going to come up and speak tonight, or if I call a case, or if you're a concerned neighbor, please stand up now and to be sworn in. If you're gonna speak, get sworn in.
If you don't get sworn in, you can't speak.
Right.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, when I call a case, Commissioner DeMario, who just swore you in, will be reading into the record the comments we received from the Community Development Department. We take those comments into consideration when we're making our decisions as well. Before we begin, will somebody want to make a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting, which was August?
Yeah.
That we approve the minutes of the meeting of August 11th.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So passed. Okay, we have a considerable amount of cases, so we want to be as expeditious as possible, so the last case doesn't have to be here all night. So if we move a little fast, that's just how we do it, okay? Case 2021-040A at 8717 Laramie, Amanda Reed and Daniel Friedman have withdrawn their case, and I'm just reading that in for the record. So we will now go to case 2021-056A at 5248 Suffield Terrace for Daniel Hogan and Catherine Priori. That's a second floor addition.
A waiver of the 51% masonry requirement is necessary for approval.
Okay, Carrie.
The addition's in the back. In this area here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the back. And then, like here.
So basically no change to the front of the house.
Correct.
Are you going to reside the whole house?
Yes,
Okay, so that'll all be a congruous looking side.
correct.
Okay.
And it'll be the same, it'll also be the color that it is now.
Gotcha.
Just
gotcha.
freshened
But
up.
it'll all be brand new.
Correct.
Okay, and there were no concerns other than the masonry
Masonry.
requirement.
Right.
Yeah, I think that, my opinion, I'll let other commissioners speak as well. You're not really changing the overall look of it. In fact, I don't see anything that's negative. Does any?
It doesn't look like it complies with the 50%
Correct. We
masonry
would have to grant that waiver.
to begin with.
But currently it doesn't, right?
Right. Looks fine.
Does anybody else have any positive, negative? Okay. Joe, you want to make a motion for this case?
All right, I make a motion that a certificate of appropriateness to be granted for case number 2021-056A as presented.
And we'll grant the 51% masonry
Yes.
waiver.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So passed. See, that was easy.
It was easy.
All right, moving right along.
Thank you.
Sure, case 2021-064A, 3700 Roth Terrace, Tareem Shahid and Syed Ashad Hussein. It's a first and second floor addition.
The staff has concerns about the size of the second-story sliding doors. Perhaps the addition of a third panel would help. The front columns are not functional.
Hello?
Hi.
And this one was resubmitted. The columns have now been converted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We removed the column.
Okay, you got some,
Redesign, yes.
you got a little heads up as to what's happening here?
Yes.
Okay, great. Did we address the second story sliding doors? We'll want to take a look at that.
I'll get there.
Sure.
Wouldn't let me scroll. So the sliders are still just the two
Yeah.
on the second floor. Just felt that there was a lot of kind of space in between, like more wall than window. And then the columns
Yeah, you took
that
care
were
of
here are,
our
it's now
stack.
kind of a
Yeah,
bracket type feature,
Mhm.
so it's not touching the ground.
okay.
So, how wide are the sliders?
It's 5 feet.
They're 5 feet, 2'6" each. I mean, I could make a case for if you guys would want to go, can you guys go to 6 footers? I mean, a third panel I don't think looks right. As it is, the house looks a little duplexy, if you know what I mean.
Let's see.
Well, you know what I mean, it's,
Symmetrical,
I get it.
Then
Maybe I
you
should have used the
redesign-
word overly symmetrical, how about that?
Okay.
But I understand kind of what you're doing and stuff like that, but, a third panel might be a little
Yeah,
too aggressive, but maybe a 6-foot wide pair of sliders, is that,
6 foot wide.
instead of 2.5 foot doors, you got
Okay.
2 3-foot doors, that's all.
Let me double check.
Anybody, besides the doors, anybody have any other commentary?
No, I agree with you and staff on the doors. I think
Okay.
6 foot is a good compromise. I just proportionally, I think it makes a lot of sense to make them a little bit larger.
They're 5, so let's go to 6.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do that. Okay,
I think removing columns was a big help. I
Yep,
was
yep.
kind of hung up on that when I saw
yeah,
them.
okay.
So,
and
so
what are those,
thank you.
I'm sorry, Joe, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
The materials are?
It's a
That's
cedar siding. on the
Cedar
second floor,
siding?
Yeah, and the brick on the first floor.
Okay.
And then stone,
And the stone, yeah.
yeah.
This is, it's called a first and second floor addition. What is it beforehand? What is it?
You can see on the left side, the foundation, it's like couple, yeah, here, this is addition.
Oh. So we're just,
a little bit extend.
okay, and you're doing some other things to it too as well, with the
Yeah, we
sliders.
was looking for symmetrical, that's why.
All right, you
You
win.
got it.
You win.
Well, it is a big improvement.
Okay, okay.
The existing house looks like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
The addition, one of the concerns with corner lots I always have is the massive 2-story from the other side.
Yeah.
And you already have a massive 2-story from the other side, so it's
Okay. All right,
consistent.
somebody want to make a motion then? Provided we're going to have him put in the 6-foot sliders.
Sure, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2021-064A at 3700 Roth Terrace, with the provision that the second floor sliding glass doors be enlarged from 5 foot wide to 6 foot wide. All other as presented.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? No opposed? So passed. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Sure, take care. Case number 2021-065A at 8017 Long Avenue, Sam and Pamela Shapman. It's a first floor addition.
And the staff has no objections with the design, but will need to check to be sure that the 51% masonry requirement is met.
Zoom in so you can see 'em. So top is existing and bottom is proposed. So this is the new feature from that elevation. And this is new.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not much change on the
Gotcha.
front elevation.
Anybody have any comment one way or the other? Do you know where you're at on the masonry?
Yeah, we did the calcs and we are at 51%.
Very good. Anybody have any negative or positive? I think I agree with staff that it's,
Yeah.
okay. Mary Jane, you wanna,
I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted to case, let's see, 2021-065A at 8017 Long Avenue as presented.
anybody second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so pass. All right, thank you. Case 2021-066A at 3800 Wright Terrace, Jaish Shuakramani.
Yes, sorry.
All right.
You got it.
Nice job. Staff questioned the need for the metal siding to have both horizontal and vertical patterns. The overall height does not meet village code requirements. Therefore, the petitioner is working on revisions. Otherwise, staff has no concerns with the design.
I understand you guys have given revisions?
Yes, so we've
Okay.
received revisions,
Great.
so,
I like it when they
a
do their
hip roof-
homework.
So a hip roof has been incorporated to meet like the height requirements.
Good.
So there'll be the illusion of flat roof, but, there are hip roofs on the main part of the house, to meet the eave height requirements.
All right, so this is all new construction. What,
And your color renderings are
Yeah.
probably a little easier to read.
right. Well, can you walk us through the materials? Because the renderings look
Yeah.
better than the two-dimensional drawings, so why don't you guys just tell us what you got going on here?
It's mostly, there's.
Can you gotta have to get into the mic, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. It's mostly brick, wood, and then, the white, larger bricks we're using. So smaller bricks, larger bricks.
But, so what is that material right there?
That's, the stone. Oh, that one?
On the right?
This is the,
That's stone. The gray material?
Yes.
it's a natural stone veneer with,
Natural stone.
So you're doing a stone
Makes
veneer?
sense.
Okay. Keep going through, and then
And
what do you
then
got? Just, what kind of wood siding is that?
We want to incorporate metal siding with wood pattern because that's more durable than the regular wood siding,
Okay,
so if possible. And it's going to also emphasize the contemporary look of the house. So, and we have particular brand in our mind that worked before, and it looks beautiful, and we can provide the sample at one point.
okay.
and the fascia color.
All right, yeah, now let's back out a little bit and take a look at the whole thing. Are there any neighbors here for this case? Okay. Are you here just to look, or did you have any other commentary, or? Did you guys get any advance look at this at all? Okay. You feel free, you want to sit up closer, you can, or you get a good enough picture of it. Let's go to the rendering, Carrie, because there we go. What's our overall height?
I think it's touching about 30 feet.
30 feet up to the peak of the main hip roof. And as for the decorative parts, we are about between 28 and 30 as well, not exceeding it.
All right, and what's our capacity, Carrie?
I believe that's,
32?
it depends on the width of the lot, and I don't know all
I think it was
the
34,
specific, but,
Okay.
yeah. They have been working with our zoning administrator on.
Okay.
We talked to
on-
Brian, he said that 30 is fine.
Could you go back to the rendering, please, Carrie?
Yeah,
And, thank you. Could you get a little closer?
yes.
So does that illustrate the concern, the comment about the vertical siding and the horizontal siding there?
Yeah, so this has, still, the
Vertical.
renderings still have the combination of vertical siding
Yeah.
and horizontal combination.
All right, question for the petitioner. I see two kinds of stone. I see a polished stone and I see a rough cut stone. Is that correct? Is
Yes.
one polished and one
Yes.
That's correct.
rough cut?
And this here.
Okay. And so the polished is what? Do we have a sample?
We're probably gonna go with a 1-inch limestone, polished limestone, big blocks, big division.
Okay,
And then to kinda warm it up a little bit, we decided to match it with brick veneer of a smaller division, the grayish one. So,
That one,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
And the fascia is that right
That
there?
one
It's
I
kind of
spent,
a
yes,
battleship
black one,
gray
yes, black one.
or gunmetal gray or
Same,
something?
the windows, and probably we'll have to use the scuppers for, to drain the water, so they
Right.
also will be probably black, yeah.
and in no uncertain terms, that's gonna be 1-inch stone. That's not gonna be, you're not gonna downgrade that to stucco or?
No,
you-
no,
yeah, Okay,
not at
good.
all.
Just wanna call that out.
We wanted to achieve the contemporary
Uh-huh.
look, and that's
Uh-huh.
why we also kinda wanna go with that metal siding. That
Right.
It's gonna have a nice warm undertone, but it still will be, more of a contemporary choice versus hardy,
Mhm.
siding.
Any other commissioners have any questions for them besides?
I'm a little curious about the hip roof, and this elevation, actually that side elevation and the front elevation. Are you gonna see the hip roof?
We're gonna
And-
see, from, from the
Some angles,
eye
yeah.
view, not too much, but some angles, yes.
And the hip roof was to reduce the size of or the height of
The height.
the building?
The hip roof
We,
was
ha-
to get the
we
code.
have height requirements that
Yeah.
when it's a flat roof, and there's like an
okay.
eave,
Yeah.
like that's a height, and then with the hip, then the height can increase, cause it's,
I see.
it's kind of
Okay.
stepped back from the facade, and so it's, when you're standing on the ground,
Yeah, it almost
it
adds
kinda-
another
yeah.
level of, another element of something on it. It almost makes it more busy.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is, I don't know, I understand now. The flat roof has a different requirement than a,
Yeah,
Sure, we didn't wanna achieve that kind of train look, boring look. We wanted to be able to just kind of play with elevation a little bit, and unfortunately, the flat roof restrictions didn't allow us to do so. So we decided to go back and just bring it back to the hip roof, so we can meet both codes and the certain look we were after.
Mhm.
yeah, it looks like the rear elevation is where it'll be most visible.
Yeah.
Right.
The staff comments actually are a good one. If you go back to the front elevation, the right terrace, the right,
or do you wanna,
the color one, yeah.
yeah,
That, it's actually a good one because what I really like the intention here. It's a cool design. But there's a lot going on. And so I think on the screen here on the right-hand side, that corner, if that were horizontal and more horizontal was brought in, it just kind of goes along with all
Just
the
break it.
eaves and all the other things that you have going on. And the window selection is real horizontal. And taking out that little, the cement panel corner and doing, wrapping that corner might make it look, a little just cleaner.
Bring it together a little bit, yeah.
Do you wanna
Because
go
of the-
around so we can comment also the other elevation? I just wanna make sure that we're on
Yeah,
the same
that's-
page.
around here.
Yeah, I was
it's
looking at that,
horizontal.
and the reason why I think it's important is because you've got all of these eaves. And the eaves are really strongly horizontal, and that, it just seems like that'll kinda help it, it's actually up on the upper one there,
Yeah.
that corner behind the tree.
Right
Yeah,
there.
so like this
That corner
corner.
right there,
Yeah.
'cause that's,
However, if we're gonna go back to horizontal metal siding, we just didn't want it to look like an addition, because now we're gonna have a stone and siding on the top of it. So that's the reason why we decided
I
to
see.
kinda break it, to avoid that look. That's a new construction, so it should look like a unity. However, I appreciate that comment.
It's something to consider, because this is the corner you see
Sure.
from, what is it, Prairie.
Handling it.
When you're, yeah, you see that, it's a pretty prominent corner, because it's kind of broad.
Yeah.
And so when you look over that way, you're gonna see this house, from Prairie Street. And that's a real prominent corner, so I understand why there was a flag on that, you know. It just seems like there's a lot going on, and that might clean it up a little bit.
Sure.
So it makes horizontal siding less.
The only other comment I have is that, and I'm not sure if it's the SketchUp or the program you use, but the wing walls look really kind of twinky. That's an architectural term. Again, it's a prominent corner, particularly that one right there.
Yeah.
It just seems like, it's such a massive house to add like double the size of that, so that it actually
Oh,
looks
that's
like
fine.
an
The width of it,
architectural.
right? So from 8 to go to like 14
Yeah,
or
so that it's just so that
Makes
it's
sense.
huskier.
You know, it is 6 feet, so it's gonna look kind of.
Yeah,
junky, but
and
I
especially if
understand.
it's too narrow and if it's 6 feet
Sure.
tall, it's gonna look really out of place with the size of your house.
Makes sense. I have a question for you. Besides that, whatever you mentioned, wrapping up with horizontal siding this corner of Hamlin and the right terrace, what about other parts where we introduced the metal siding? Are you okay with changing direction? Because this is deliberate.
Yeah, and that's
Is that
actually,
okay, or-
yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons why I like the end being horizontal, because you've got a real horizontal in the center on the entrance, then you've got vertical on the vertical element, which seems to be appropriate, and then it gets real horizontal on the end, and it might
Sure.
just accentuate that. Again, something to just take a look at, because it's hard to tell on these renderings how they're actually gonna look in person, but it just seems like there's a lot happening. And it's a cool house, it's a really nice design, that might just give it that,
Bring it together a little bit.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
One more question I had. If you go back to the elevations, is the stone veneer going to be like staggered that way, like the cladding, or it's going to be like the rendering?
Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, the joints, go back to the rendering.
The rendering is like plain, it goes in line, but the other one is staggered.
Let's go to the other rendering.
Yeah, one's got a subway tile look to it, and the other one's straight.
One more
Yeah.
probably, right? Yeah, this one? Yes, what's the question again?
No, if you go back to the elevations, not the rendering.
Yeah,
this
see,
one
you
is
got
like
kind of a running
staggered.
bond there versus,
Oh, gotcha. We wanted to do the stack bond.
Staggered will
Stack.
It
be.
depends on the owner, but stack bond is just what we
Yeah,
don't-
yeah, I understand. I mean,
It's
Like
I-
we
going
have
look,
on the
this
rendering.
one looks
Yes.
bet,
I personally
good
like the
than,
straight.
It
yeah,
looks
this one
cleaner.
straight
Straight.
looks
It looks
better
cleaner.
than
I like
the
the
other
straight.
one.
we
We're
would,
gonna do the stack bond.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
The
Yeah.
straight one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do
Straight
this.
one, yeah.
Do this?
Yeah.
Yes, do this,
Okay.
yes.
Oh,
And
and did
what-
you happen to bring any samples with you?
No, we just,
You
I
have-
asked Brian and he said that it's okay, whatever we have pictures of one of the sheets, but we can always,
well,
bring it.
luckily for you, we know what those three materials are, but Carrie, tell Brian not to tell people not to bring samples.
No, he didn't say so. I just asked him if there's anything we're missing and he said we are good to go, so.
Can you
Don't
comment?
ever tell Brian to tell people that they're good to go.
To go home.
Can you comment on the railings? Are they glass? Are they cable rails?
We're
What-
trying to, we're gonna have a glass ones with, of course, for the support, we're gonna use a galvanized, metal steel or so, yeah. It's gonna be translucent. Is that the question?
Down at the ground floor as well?
Yeah, ground floor is over.
All right, so
Yes.
they're all glass?
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Anybody else have a comment?
I'm good.
All right, Joe, since you had the most to say, I'll let you do the thing, but just make sure you got the straight joints on the stone.
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you, were you here when I gave the instructions earlier? No, come on up here if you want to ask any questions, because we don't do the yelling across the room here. No worries.
I wasn't here to fight or complain about
no
anything.
worries.
I was just curious
Sure.
how high the west side of the house was, because I have a solar system in the garage on the other side of the alley from it. So I was just
Sure.
curious where it was going to be.
You're 30, you're just around 30 feet.
30 feet?
Right.
Okay.
You
Thank
should
you.
be all right, yeah,
Actually,
okay.
I'm gonna add to that, one of the things that I liked about this design was that you don't, the second floor where you have the wing, you actually step it back so that there's a roof deck, so it gives the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives more light and air to the neighbor to
Right.
the south, even though you've got a lot and a half or a double lot.
Right.
It's kind of a nice, just a nice observation, so thank you.
Go ahead, Joe, you got,
All right, I move that a certificate of appropriateness to be granted for case number, here we go, 2021-066A, located at 3800 Wright Terrace. As presented, but including a stack bond for the, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, limestone, yeah.
For the limestone. And I'm not sure, do we include the staff comment about the horizontal corner?
yeah, just it gives consideration to it.
Give consideration to
We're
the,
gonna propose couple options before.
yeah, to
finish
take a
the
close,
construction.
good close look at it. And also to beef up the wing walls, that on the,
Beef it up, yeah.
on the east and west sides.
Anybody second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so pass. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. Case number 2021-067A at 5316 Greenwood, Mike and Cameo Thompson. If I pronounce that right, is it Cameo?
Staff has,
First and second floor addition.
sorry. Staff has no concern with the design.
Well, then this should go easy. But they've been wrong before.
Hey.
Hey.
A front elevation, so this part here. Rear elevation. And side elevations.
So I'm sorry, so we're just doing something off the back, sir?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, and you've got,
So you just see a little bit, but this is stepped back. But
Yeah.
as far as the front elevation, it's just this part here, but stepped back,
what,
like right here.
what's the existing material on the house, on the existing house?
Brick.
Sir, can you do me a favor and close that door for me? Thank you. They left with exuberance. Okay, anybody
it's
have
full
any
brick.
comments one way or the other? What color are we going with the siding? Something to complement the existing?
Yeah, I have a few if you want to look at them.
Sure. After we scolded the other customer for not bringing one, you bring them, we gotta take a look.
These are like the final three. We're kind of,
That's the family of them?
yeah,
Very nice.
So you're doing a hardy board?
yeah, hardy board.
Okay, good. That'll give it some
Mm-hmm.
integrity, okay. Yeah, I don't oppose any of those. Arshana, do you feel like making a motion on this one, and unless you have anything?
I make a motion that certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2021-067A, located at 5316 Greenwood Street as presented.
Anybody second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? No opposed, so pass. All right, thank you, good luck. Case 2021-068A, 9330 Kedvale, Gabriel Valabov, second floor addition.
The staff has no concerns with the design, but did note the brackets in the front porch could incorporate some design elements.
How you guys doing? Good.
Front elevation.
This is just a second floor addition, right?
Correct.
And these are the brackets. I think they're just kind of just a basic, what, a set of 2x2s, or 2x4s, that we thought maybe like even just a slight curve, a little bit of detail in the bracket.
Well, so is that new, this porch?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a new element?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and it's gotta be kicked back because you can't put columns in there, right?
Mhm.
Right, so actually, those will probably be more like a tapered corbel.
All right, you'll do something more ornamental or with that versus what's drawn? Okay.
Okay, rear, and then the other side.
Materials up there, sir?
Yes, in fact, they're either the hardy board or
Hardy
they'll
board?
be the same thing that you
Gotcha.
if that's okay.
Anybody have any objections or comments?
No.
Okay, Jay, give it a ride.
I make a motion that certificate of appropriateness be granted for the case number 2021-0688, 9330 Kerwin, as presented.
Anybody second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No opposed, so passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one question, and I don't know if the board here knows the answer to this or not, but as part of that permit process, we have a tree to remove. Do I need to have a separate tree removal permit, or can that be used as part of our demo?
Why don't you talk to Brian Augustine? Our zoning administrator, he'll be able to figure out if it needs to be as part of the permit or if it would be separate.
Okay.
Okay?
He'll
Thanks.
probably say you're good to go. Case 2021-069A at 9509 Lawndale Avenue, Getty and Rachel Rubino, second floor addition.
The staff has no concerns with the design. The 51% masonry requirement will need to be confirmed.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm Mark Golan, I'm the architect for the project. It might be a typo, the owner's name is Revivo, so that R-E-V-I-V-O.
Okay, that's probably, I'm sure it's a typo. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mark.
Okay. It's pretty straightforward. There's a one-story family room behind the house now. It's a roof deck. They go out there, but the heated umbrellas and bug zappers just don't do it. So what we're doing is building an enclosure on top of that existing flat roof. It matches the materials on the back of the house. We do comply with the 51%. And most of what you're seeing is screens. It's neither brick nor siding. It's a porch. So I didn't bring a sample of a screen.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
That's what we're talking about.
All right, you're just enclosing a deck.
That's correct.
Okay. All the materials match?
They do.
So screen.
Okay. And Mark, you're sure you're good on the 51%, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Then that way we just don't have to read it in, so.
Okay.
All right, Mary Jane, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted to case 2021-069A at 9509 Lawndale Avenue as presented.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Good luck.
Thank you.
Case number 2021-070A at 5231 Church, Frederick Thomas, first and second floor addition.
The staff has no concerns with the design.
Hi.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
So it's an addition.
So you're adding on a garage and a bedroom above, I'm sure,
Exactly.
right?
The garage is already, there's a detached garage there already. I'm not gonna move the side where the garage is now between myself and my neighbors, so that's kind of where the,
Sure.
One question, I
Huh?
was looking at this earlier, so it's not attached to the house?
it is.
Oh, it is,
Well,
I mean,
not-
it's
not now,
attached, but
not
it's
now.
not accessible from the house?
It will be eventually. When we detach it, it will be accessible through with the family room in the back.
Oh, okay, I was trying to figure out how,
Yeah, that's how we'll get in.
okay.
So it says new what garage right there?
Entry or
New
what?
two-story
Oh,
garage.
so you're
Yeah.
building a garage and an addition and tearing down your existing garage?
Exactly.
All right, I think, Joe, that's what you were kind of getting at, right?
Well, no, actually, the heated space above the garage, I was trying to figure out how
Oh.
it was accessed from the house, from the drawings, but it comes through the
Right.
family room. So I was wondering if it was just through the the staircase that you're putting into the garage.
Are you asking how I'm gonna heat it?
No,
No.
how you're getting,
Okay,
how you
okay.
were, I'm
Okay.
fine with it, I'm fine
Okay.
whether it was accessible or not, I mean, it could be
Okay.
an office, I don't care.
Who'd you find to hand draw the drawings?
I was just curious how it worked.
Okay.
All the materials are gonna match existing home?
I'll use hardy board. I mean, it's a masonry house, but I'm gonna replace that white siding with hardy board.
Okay.
And continue around and around the rest of the house too.
Okay. Anybody?
Sure, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2021-070A at 5231 Church Street as presented.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed.
Alright, thanks.
Sure, take care. Case 2021-072A at 8630 Keeler. Jonathan Yahab, or Yahab? This is interesting, a first, second, and third floor addition.
We're actually here to oppose,
Pardon me?
we're here to oppose the,
Okay, I don't even know if the petitioner's here. Nope. Okay, can we, may as well take, have you seen it yet?
no, we haven't seen it.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware, but we were here, he went to the appeals board back in July, and we were here for about an hour going over thing. Can I?
Okay.
You're not aware of that. Can
I don't, can you educate me?
Can I,
Yeah,
okay,
so-
I'd like to.
No, not you, sir.
Yeah. There was a,
Maybe.
there was a proposed addition that was reviewed by you earlier, though I can't remember the exact point in time for that. But it did require a zoning board of appeals review and approval for the setback. And I believe after 2 meetings with the zoning board of appeals, they approved the first floor setback, but then it had to be stepped back on the second and third floor.
There
It was based
no-
on their,
I'm sorry, there was no third floor proposal.
oh,
time.
okay.
Okay. So let's, just for this, since you guys waited so nicely,
Yeah.
let's just show a little picture about what they're proposing.
Yeah, so this is the addition here. And are you the owners of
We're right
this
there,
house?
yes.
Okay,
We're the Finkel's right next door.
so this is the addition here. So in this part,
And yeah, I think you're more concerned about that, well, I know you're concerned about everything, but.
so this lighter gray in here is existing, and then this is the proposed part here.
I had gotten a zoning amendment notification on this one. I was really curious about how it works when you have a 3-foot side setback with building codes and how it affects the neighbors and kind of the international building code, I guess. It's kind of curious because, I mean, does this need to be then sprinkled?
Oh, that whole house is sprinkled, right?
I don't know if it's sprinkled.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's,
but,
that was,
yeah.
that was one of my questions. I
Yeah.
was like, since we're,
Well,
we're actually
okay.
2'9", I think, from the side,
Yeah.
the side property line.
Well, I'm sorry, Joe, but just to keep it going, the petitioner's not here.
Right.
We're not gonna create any action on this tonight, so evidently, there was something that
Can we,
yes, you can't, hang on, we had passed. They,
Subject to zoning board of appeals.
right, and then zoning came
Approval.
back and said no, and then they revised it to this? Is that
Yes.
what your understanding is?
Yes.
Okay, now you can, just so we're
Thanks.
all educated.
Yeah, I would just like to give you just a
Sure.
brief, I don't want
As
to go
long
into.
as it's brief, right.
Okay, I'll make it brief.
Sure.
I cut this down a bunch of times, but.
No worries.
I do have a letter from the landscaper, but I can give that to you, but I'm just gonna do one page, just give you,
Sure.
okay. So, first of all, our kitchen and our second floor bedroom face the proposed addition.
Okay.
Okay, so this past summer, we were at the zoning board meeting. They want to increase it from a 9-foot setback to a 3-foot setback. So, you know, we wanted to show ourselves as being good neighbors and compromising, so we said, okay, on the first floor, go ahead and do a 3-foot setback, but if you're going to do a second floor, we want the 9-foot setback. So the board agreed with us, and everything seemed fine. So
are you saying then, because this isn't what that is?
now he's coming back. He didn't get what he, I don't want to.
I got you, okay.
He didn't get what he wanted, so now he's going to go up another floor.
All right,
Okay.
then you'd have to go back to zoning.
This is right in our
No, I get you.
Okay, so we presented the letter from our landscaper that, and I'll quote, "A second-story addition, regardless of the setback, would have detrimental effects to the existing plant life, lawn, and even landscape," okay? And that's for a second floor. He wants to do a hardscape. So certainly a third-floor addition would cause even more damage. And also be a wall right outside our building. Their lots, 2.5 size of ours. On the south side of their house, they have a lot of, I don't know if it's on the drawing there, but they've got a lot of space if they want to build anything there. You know, and prior to the meeting, my wife actually ran into the wife.
Say it quickly.
Okay.
I just said it wasn't nice that you're doing this.
Right.
It isn't, you know, our whole block is real respectful.
Right.
And everything is divided, and she says to me, I just walked away, she sent me a text. She said, our architect told us that if the village will place our setback to 9 feet, he doesn't have a choice but to build a third floor, which will be much bigger, higher, and it will be in your face.
That's what they said. Anyway, so we agreed to the 3-foot setback on the first floor to be neighborly, but, you know, to now come back and want to build a third floor.
Sure, but this is a 3-foot setback, but now he's going for a second floor.
A third floor.
Third.
Well, but you said 3 foot you're okay with for a
On
first floor.
the first floor, and 9 foot on the second floor, but because he didn't get the 3 foot on the second floor, now he wants to go up even higher and do a third floor.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. Go ahead.
I
Mitch.
just wondered, are you saying it would have a bad effect on your landscaping because of the shade caused by the building?
Yes, like I said, I have a page-and-a-half letter from the landscaper. She does a lot of the properties on the golf course there.
Sure.
And she came out and she wrote this letter explaining how it would affect everything, besides being so obtrusive.
I mean, we
Right.
bought the property and built a home there because of the nature and purposely, with respect to the 9-foot side yards that he has.
Right. Well, I thank you for doing that, and thank you for coming in. Why these petitioner is, I hate to say these people, why these people aren't here, or the petitioner is not here, I can't answer that.
I'm surprised.
But I'm happy you did that. You'll probably have to, if they continue, you'll probably have to come back again. And then I'll give you all the time you need.
Okay.
Trust me, okay?
Okay, all right.
Just put them toward the back of the agenda.
Well,
So
no,
it's-
then we gotta come back at the end.
No, you'll get fair, hey, you came here, you did your homework. You'll get fair warning from Carrie where you would be, or from the village staff where you're
That's
gonna be
fine.
sitting in the
Do
agenda.
you want the full letter from the landscaper, or?
If you wanted to give it for the
Okay.
file,
Yeah.
yeah, but not to us at this point.
Okay.
No.
Okay, but I apologize that you're
No,
having to go
that's-
through all this, but you gotta
All right,
protect
thanks for
your.
time.
No-
Thank you.
No worries, thank you. So that's not here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you have a copy.
We're gonna move to case 2021-07. Go ahead, Joe.
I've got a question.
Sure.
And,
For them?
comment, no, for this file, just for staff. So
Okay.
Since, I mean.
Okay, yes, you were bringing up an issue.
Yeah, because they respected the 3-foot first floor, which is, you know, whatever. They went through the process and it worked. However, they have an additional 1-foot overhang on the second floor balcony. So they're actually 2 feet from the property line at the eave, it looks like to me. If you look at the elevation and then the setback, and it's a question, I'm not sure if that's what they're intending, but if you notice, this is 3 feet from here to here, but then they've got a 1-foot overhang, so it's actually 2 feet. And I'm just curious how that's even possible, or if that's even something that's.
There, the setback is like measured like at the connection with the ground, for
Yes.
instance. So like an eave overhang, as an example, is something that could go into
So
part of the
including a
setback.
balcony
So,
and a railing, so you're actually right, 2 feet
Yeah,
from
so-
the property line if you're standing on the balcony. And then the other comment was, and this is just a curiosity here, they've stepped it back 9 feet from the property line, and it looks like they're within the height restriction, which is 30.5 or 30, so they're not requesting a height variation. Does that 9 feet meet the ordinance setbacks?
I would have to check with the zoning administrator. I mean,
And
he
that
did
would
look
be fine,
at
and that's
this
actually why
before,
I'm
while we
bringing
were
it up,
meeting.
is
Yeah.
not
I
to,
believe-
not to
yeah.
resolve it now, but just,
Mhm.
I'm curious because to use that as an argument might not really work unless, but they are going for the 3 foot.
I
It
guess,
is one of the bigger setbacks, and
Yeah.
they do have a very wide lot, so, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
presuming it is, but I'll check with our zoning administrator.
and Carrie, check what to go, is what they did, is what they're proposing in the spirit of what the zoning board of appeals understood the agreement to be at that hearing.
Yeah, I'll check with Brian on that as
Right.
well, yeah. Because I felt the spirit was, 3 feet first floor, and then anything above that would be 9, but if they were just thinking it was only gonna be 2 stories, I'll have to confirm that
Right.
with Brian.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will continue on. Sorry, everybody had to hear all that, but it's government in action. Case 2021-073A at 5209 Madison for Maher Zaya, a first floor addition.
Staff noted the blank space above the garage door and recommends a soldier course or other framing element above the top of the door.
So this is the addition here.
Maher's not here, that's his wife, I'll be in touch.
That's all right. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Good.
It's an addition off to the side of the house.
Okay, and we're using the same materials, basically? Yeah, brick and stuff, yes, okay.
Yeah. On the
On the front?
facade, yeah.
And then on the back, you're going
probably
with
to
siding,
match.
okay.
Is that the door in question there? Front elevation?
Yes.
What?
So since it's lower, we discussed, maybe having like a 5th panel on the garage door so it's taller, or some
Yeah,
sort of a
I
soldier
would-
course
I would-
brick or
I-
a
I
trim
wonder
detail.
whether is that garage door even drawn at the right height? Do you think the garage door is correctly drawn on here, or is it taller?
Yes.
It is?
This size. Look, yes.
That's correct? All right, so then, we'd like to take the brick and make a soldier course all the way across the top of it, across the top of the garage and across your door, because it looks like they kind of align. Does that make sense? That's what you were saying, Carrie?
Yes, yeah, there's just
Awesome.
quite a bit of space above that, so just to kind
All
of
right.
break it up.
Anybody else have anything?
No.
Go ahead, Tom.
Sure, I
Joe's
move,
studying maps.
I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2021-073A at 5209 Madison, as presented with the addition of a soldier course of masonry above the garage door and pass door be added.
Maybe a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed. Aye. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Case number 2021-075A, 8433 Keystone Avenue for Jimmy Wojciu. First floor addition.
Staff has no concerns with the design.
Let's see what architectural masterpiece.
I'm standing in for the renowned architect who designed this. He couldn't be here tonight.
So this is the existing house, and so there's kind of
Yeah.
like a series of 3
Another
additions.
helmet gone.
There was a carport in front, they're turning it into a garage, there was a patio on the right side, that's gonna be a
Yeah, I'll
living
do
room,
the
and then a
picture.
mudroom.
There you go.
All right,
That's
that's,
not gonna be a garage.
that's the before.
Yes. And it is rotated on the lot, so
Okay, where is this?
they're adding,
Keystone.
Brick to match, siding to match, shingles to match.
All right,
so
Let's make it
mudroom,
quick.
garage, and living room.
Arshana, you wanna, if you have no objections, you wanna make it a
Yeah.
motion?
I make a motion that certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2021-075 A, located at 8433 Keystone Avenue as presented.
Anybody second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so pass.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good night.
Do something
Good night.
nice on the garage
Right.
door, for a garage door, not just a vinyl one. I know it's not our purview here, but, it's really prominent.
I'll pass that on.
And that's a beautiful cottonwood tree in the front yard, so do what you can to save it.
Case number 2021-074A, 4000 Church Street, Noya LLC.
Staff noted that additional windows could be added to the east elevation.
Didn't you guys get this approved like 5, 6 years ago?
Yep.
So what are we doing now?
Well, the mixed-use building died, so the dentist who's purchasing the property,
Okay,
Oh.
building a single-user building. It's about 5,000 square feet, and operatories, laboratories, typical dental office. Very high-end, but typical dental office. It's a one-story building. It has a stone base with a stucco band and a glass band above the operatory so that people, when they're in the chairs, they can get some natural light.
so this is it, huh? All right, so let's
That's
look
it.
at the rendering. So what am I looking at? Am I on
You're at
Church and Crawford,
corner
right?
of Church and Crawford. The sign you're seeing is, that elevation is not parallel with Crawford, it's
Right.
tilted a little bit. So the sign faces southeast. And I believe that's probably where the staff wanted more windows, which I really don't think the elevation needs
Yeah.
more windows.
Right, so right behind that, Rafi, is the synagogue?
Yes,
Yeah,
to the,
okay.
to the right of it is the
Okay.
synagogue.
Okay,
The front portion, what's in the corner is their kind of conference room and gathering area. To the left of that is the waiting area. The entrance is kind of in the middle of the block, middle of the site, off of the parking. The parking is to the west.
Right.
Building pretty much tries to hug as much of the street as possible, but pushing it back to create nice landscape area. So really the building is really landscaped very nicely all the way around it.
What's
So
the-
you will landscape like the rendering?
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
What's the materials?
Material, the base is a stone base
Okay,
with a limestone cap.
uh-huh,
The body of the building, except for where the stone goes all the way up, there are a few spots that the stone goes all the way up. And then it's broken up with stucco.
okay,
Windows are black,
okay.
and the roof is a metal, standing seam metal roof. And that's the color. I don't know if
Can
saw
you
it.
go back to the rendering, Carrie?
Yeah, I was just showing the materials here. Yeah.
Are you looking to have the signage approved at this point, or is that just for us to
That's for you to,
envision
put-
where signs might
Right,
go?
right.
Because I think that that's a little,
you know, it's just to give, it's a placeholder. I don't have materials for signs, I
Okay.
don't have actual colors for signs, I don't have the system for it. So whoever's gonna do the sign, they're gonna come in for their own sign approval.
okay, and what about site lighting?
Site lighting,
Did
we
you-
have
did you-
submitted, photometrics.
Okay,
And,
oh, I see some parking lots, you got
yeah,
some entryway
There was
lighting.
one, we're doing 2 lights on the building,
Mm-hmm,
on the north and west elevation, and we needed still to do one more, parking light to meet the photometrics requirements.
okay, so at least on the site, you're gonna have that's the main entrance I'm looking at?
Yes,
That's good, it keeps it away from the corner.
yeah.
So it's like here.
Yeah. I think it'll be cool, and better than that mixed-use building. Obviously, they couldn't put the money together.
Yeah, I mean, they had some buyers at some point, and then COVID hit, and everything kind of, everybody stopped in their tracks, and just,
Okay. Anybody else have any comments, one way or the other?
good.
No, looks good,
Yeah, it's very cool.
yeah.
Then if the business fails, it can be a burger joint and a bar.
Right.
Bar.
I mean, actually, this is a pretty established,
I'm just messing with it.
rental-
Only because our neighborhood could use
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was
a
a
burger
restaurant
joint and a
there.
bar. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, there was, years ago.
Yeah,
It was a great restaurant, my mom would go there a lot.
I don't remember it.
Kind of like an old B&G kind of a restaurant. Forgot the name of it, though. Anybody else have any comments, one way or the other? Did we address what the staff, yeah, the staff wasn't, all right, anybody want to make a motion?
Oh, well, yeah, sure, I will, make a motion.
Leave it hanging.
Move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2021-074A at 4,000 Church Street, as presented.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So passed. What's their timing?
they're really anxious to get going, in front of the board next week, because we have to amend the, ordinance because of how this was
Right.
part of the synagogue. And then they also authorized us to go moving forward with the construction documents, because they wanna,
Yeah.
they don't wanna do something.
They were doing some soil testing about a month ago, right, or a
Yeah.
few weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah. There was a little tank they had to get rid of.
Oh, is there, is still to get out, or, yeah,
There is what?
the tank?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's very,
It's not like a gas tank,
no,
it's,
it's just a little.
it's probably something from the,
Keeps coming up every time.
it's probably
Yeah.
something from the restaurant. It might be,
Grease trap, maybe?
yeah, it could be an old grease trap or something.
As long as there wasn't
Yeah,
a-
I have no
Right.
idea how big it, I mean, I know it's not big, just like
Yeah.
right away rough it is, but I have no idea what's in that.
I look forward to landscaping like that. That'll be
The
good.
gentleman who did the landscaping, I think he really did a really nice job.
That'll be really
Well,
good.
tell him, make sure he does it, cause Mary Jane and I go by there, and Tom
Yeah,
go by
we-
that corner
we all
probably,
live in the neighborhood.
probably 10 times a
I'll
week,
let them
so.
know. I'll let them know.
All right, Rafi, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
And 8:25, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and next meeting will be November.
Yes. If you use the gavel, then our eight.
There you
He'll
go.
know the meeting's over.
Alright.
That's when he knows to cut tape.
I thought it was gonna be a little longer. But that's, I had to give you.
Yeah,